All right, good people. We just on some silly time here. I got the petty T-shirt on. You you already know what it is.
People be like, why do you go out of your way to be petty? And I'd be like, who said it was out of my way? It's directly on my route every single time. Pettyluia.
And this right here is just comedic gold. It is intellectual rubble and charcoal, but comedic gold. And given all that's happening in the world, that is of some much more importance and seriousness and horror. This to me is as funny as any sitcom or a distracting bit of media. And again, I mean, the idea that he would be critical of my work or have called me out at any point is just, again, additionally comical. But here, Dr. Boyce Watkins says the Black community, and this is November 27th, a couple of days ago, the Black community should be embarrassed that one white woman has given several donations to HBCUs that are greater than all of our Black celebrity donations combined. Nobody will ever respect you if you can't pay your own bills. Again, this is the kind of beautiful, consistent illogic that we should be accustomed to the extent that any of us, and forgive me if you are able to not at all, pay attention to this man. So, of course, he's referencing Mackenzie Scott's recent donations, yet again, to my own Morgan State University. She's given to Bowie State and others. And as I've talked about elsewhere, she's given to a bunch of folks. I mean, the money she's given to HBCUs is a pittance compared to everything she's given everywhere else. And of course, compared to the billions that she and, of course, her ex, Jeff Bezos, are worth. So, never mind my Not a Different World HBCU project and the ongoing questions and criticism, my own and others, around the value of HBCUs and the extent to which they are purported to be different spaces and radical spaces when they in fact are not, for the most part. Never mind all of that. This again shaming Black people, this again attacking Black people as though Black people are the cause of their own condition is the kind of absurdity that, again, we should expect from, unfortunately, uh, those like Boyce, but is unacceptable and in this case laughable. Now, the laughable part here is in addition to his ridiculous analysis, and the extent to which that people engage with this, I hope it's to not engage, it's to disengage with the broader logic and argument and work. And certainly, please, I can't discourage enough people's financial support of this man's work. Paying this man for the bad advice is even more absurd. And then the idea that he would even be critical of academia and scholarship while promoting himself as a doctor and a PhD from Syracuse, while bemoaning the unwillingness of the institutions that gave him his credentials to rise to the level that he has in terms of his analysis and critique of the economy and its relationship to Black people. I mean, he is just a walking bag of illogic and contradiction. However, the beauty, the comedy in all of this is in the responses that he got to this. So salute to the many, the overwhelming majority who call him out right out the gate. Whatever Dr. Boyce Watkins tweets, always know that the truth is the opposite of what he is stating. Who then highlights this Washington Post article. Now, again, I am not a proponent of the Washington Post or its claims of accuracy, and I know it's not fully showing up here, but whatever. The point here, the claim here, according to the Washington Post, is that nearly 2/3 of Black households donate to community-based organizations and causes to the tune of $11 billion a year. according to a joint 2012 study from the W.K. Kellogg Foundation and Rockefeller Philanthropy Advisors. Black households on average give away 25% more of their income per year than whites. Communities of colors are giving an increasing rate. So this is something that is actually I've seen before, has been talked about before. That world majority communities actually per capita do more to support their communities than again, relatively speaking, do whites. But so the argument then, of course, would be that if it's 11 billion a year, the however many 50, 60, 100, 200 that Scott has given to HBCUs, I don't think it's 200, but just if we were just to say it over the last couple of years, all told, it wouldn't keep up with the 11 billion a year that Black people give. But the point being that it doesn't matter if Black people give as much as Mackenzie Scott or not. That these institutions, HBCUs specifically, are not Black owned in the sense that they are in the way that Boyce and others like to promote. They are often, as is the case with Howard University, for instance, private institutions with federal grant relationships uh, that are the preponderance of the support. They also, of course, have an increasing, and actually at this point, I don't even know if it's a preponderance, because at this point, with all the increasing contracts again from the federal government through military, cyber security, et cetera, and so forth, other private. These are not Black owned in the sense that or independent or autonomous that is often they're promoted to be. But then more importantly, even if they were, much like my broader arguments around Black capitalism, even if they were independent Black owned businesses, they are themselves part of a broader economy that makes the Blackness of their ownership largely irrelevant in terms of their ability to address historic and ongoing material inequality built into a capitalist economy. So either way, it doesn't really matter. Then, if we get to some of what my own research interests are and memoir interests are, uh, that HBCUs are not ideologically as different or critical or radical, certainly revolutionary as many would like to think. Then we have a whole other thing here. Again, Boyce is just wildly outside of his depth here. Now, here was an interesting quote tweet response to Michael Harriot's response to this, retweeting again that Washington Post story. If this information is accurate, can someone explain where the Black money is going? This is sort of the point of my own project. The Black money, the Black and otherwise money that goes into HBCUs, where does it end up? How does it end up impacting the economy? It was, as we've covered recently, it was reported again recently that HBCUs like Morgan State was said to, I think, be worth $15 billion to the Maryland state economy. Again, that's where the money's going. These institutions are not here to enrich and change the material condition of Black people. They're here to enrich and expand the broader economy, which is owned and controlled and benefits almost exclusively white elite communities. So that would be where it went. Shout out to Aaron Lee Dowell, who I think is where I got put onto this answering the question to pay for a living. That's where the money goes, and raising criticism and referencing me around buying power. And then, as I said here, it looks like it all starts with a comment from Boyce Watkins, which alone should encourage folks to begin another discussion somewhere else. But again, the best part in the comedy in all of this is in so many of the responses that have been generated from Boyce Watkins' post here. Again, whatever he tweets is the opposite of the truth. Your argument is nonsensical. Doctor, it would take over 400,000 average Black individuals to even equal the net worth of Mackenzie. Now factor in that on the average 45,000 people graduate from HBCUs. That means it will take nearly 10 years to even equal her individually. Again, I mean, I don't even know if the math. It sounds right, and certainly the logic sounds right there. But again, the point is the logic inherent in that, and if not the details, is that Black people collectively are not worth as much as Mackenzie Scott. That is more of a cause for concern and raise for a question. So it shouldn't be Black people don't give as much as Mackenzie. The question should be, why do people like Mackenzie have so much versus how much Black people have? The question should be, why is this does this level of inequality exist in the first place? But people like Boyce want to throw these their criticism of the economy results in, and their poor analysis of the economy results in condemning and blaming Black people. It's just ridiculous. And then to say again, there are probably more donations from Black celebrities than we are aware of, and few Black celebrities, in fact, probably none, none, in fact, have what Mackenzie Scott has by herself. You are an embarrassment to the Black community. Mm. Don't ever speak on us, Negro, when you know damn well Black people don't have the type of stolen, tainted generational wealth. Mind you, these white women have white husbands that sell products that kill people mentally, physically, and socially, and give funds from divorce settlements. Bitch, shut up. This is stupid. The one white woman is significantly richer than all the Black celebrities combined. Man, you stupid. What was that from? Menace to Society? Historically, Black doesn't mean Black owned. Them white colleges that Black kids attend and Black people teach, it's not even mandatory to learn Negro history at an HBCU. In some ways, that's true. Morgan kind of has a built-in maybe, but no, it's not by any means guaranteed. To be fair, that white women is more wealth than most of our Black celebrities combined. Most of our Black celebrities aren't actually worth what their Google net worth says, and you should know that, Boyce. Black people do give to our institutions, including the celebrities you are calling out. Our donations can't make the same impact as Mackenzie Scott. If we are buying on Amazon, we are helping her support HBCUs. Oh.
Now listen, that's cool.
That is hilarious. How many people in the Black community divorced Jeff Bezos after being mentored by Toni Morrison? Can you just let a good thing be a good thing without virtue signaling? Poor take. You seem to think that celebrities have a lot of cash, that $135 million contract ends up being $60 million in hand or less. I don't think you realize how many athletes would have to give everything they have to come close to the funds of a multi-billionaire. Why you coming to us with this problem? Go talk to rich Black folks. You're right, but not one Black celebrity has her money. So then that means he's wrong. That's the point. Because she gave reparations, we're supposed to feel embarrassed. That's literally the least she can do. I agree with that, but I wouldn't call it reparations. But it is the least she can do, and nobody should feel embarrassed because, again, the richest white universities get donations in the same way. What is he talking about? Harvard and them get the same. They get donations too. That's why you got people's names on buildings. I worked at Morehouse for a year. The overwhelming majority of donations come from alumni, and I'm sure this is true for other HBCUs. She gave one time. Alumni gives forever. Well, Morgan, she gave twice, but point still well taken. It may be called the HBCU, but it's owned and run by white folks. Facts. I mean, more or less directly or indirectly. I mean, for the most part, yeah. One white woman. You sound like it's some random white girl that has been scrimping dollars to do this. Don't be disingenuous. If you added up the wealth of every Black American, how many billions do you think we all would have? And whatever it is, I promise you that white lady has more billions. Right. Well, we appreciate the contributions. I'm sad to say if we wait for some rich Black celebrities to give money, those institutions would have closed by now. Thank God that woman has a heart. How much have you donated to HBCUs? Ooh, I'm gonna like that one. These are plenty of there are plenty of non-Black students at HBCUs. Sit this one out, doctor. I don't know about plenty, but there are. maybe if you understand the backstory, it makes sense. Toni Morrison had a lot of influence on her during her time as a student at Yale University. I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna come back to that another time. I'm gonna leave that alone for now. But yeah. And again, you can in part thank Oprah for the popularity. Not that Toni Morrison doesn't deserve it, not that she didn't publish George Jackson, not that she was a horrible person, just that her popularity with white women in particular. Salute to Daphne Reed and her classic essay on this. Uh, that's likely as much, why Mackenzie is paying reparations. What have you done for HBCUs? I look at I look at it as her giving back to the black community for what her slave owning ancestors did. Dr. Watkins, I'm not ashamed. I give what I can when I can. That woman is a billionaire multiple times over. Sometimes these HBCUs were confused by others in the background. I think these donations are a bigger pick. Bro really came here to turn an extreme positive into an extreme negative. Stop the divide and conquer tactics. Stop the clout chasing. Them schools are ran and controlled by sellouts. So nah. Yeah, but who paid for those same HBCUs to be built? Bet it was the saltine. Bet it wasn't saltines. Yeah, it was saltines who paid for and built those HBCUs, by the way. Again, part of the confusion here. You're supposed to make your CIA employment non-obvious. HR needs to retain you on a code of conduct. Needs to restrain you on a code of conduct. I think you probably got fired a while ago just doing it for the love of hating black people. Why should the black community be embarrassed by this? How does these even it makes I love it. I mean, I'm scrolling endlessly here. It's just all hate and comedy. Surely you lead by example. Strongly disagree with this. You're too smart to be this dumb.
I mix what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like.